Hey everyone, welcome to Zealots. I'm Forrest.
I'm Major, and I don't know why we're talking about Secret Invasion, because we should be talking about Mission Impossible, but whatever.
I'm Matt, and we should be also talking about Indiana Jones and how it really wasn't that bad.
I've seen neither of those, so we cannot discuss them today, but maybe in the future.
Little spoilers, little teases all around. And Robbie, who's this sexy son of a bitch we got in the corner over here? It's Robbie. Robbie's the sexy son of a bitch.
Oh, I thought I had Marisa or something.
Matt broke order. Matt usually goes last. Robbie usually goes behind me, but that's only in
did you not hear me?
I heard you. Robbie went before me.
Well, Matt thought Robbie went before you.
I'm always the one screwing it up, so.
Well, Matt thought Tip was on, so he wanted to go ahead and get out of the way so Tip could say something.
No, Tip's not on because you can't hear any background noise. There's no meth being cooked or dishes being cooked in the background.
That's true. It's tranquilly quiet, this podcast.
Quick, like and subscribe. Give us 5 stars before Tip comes on.
Supposed to do the
So basically, this episode started off with Gaia not being dead, which I think we all
what?
Which we all kind of
dead.
Suspected. Sort of like we suspected Rhodes being a Skrull, so we weren't really. I mean,
Rhodey being a Skrull. That's so fucking.
I'm gonna be honest.
Is that shit writing, or is that? Are we okay with that?
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
no, keep up.
Real one.
Oh, okay. So basically, I feel like an idiot for not realizing that she would probably have Extremis inside of her. But my only problem with it is if you watch Iron Man 3, Extremis doesn't bring you back to life if you've been killed, because he actually takes out. Remember the main bad guy, the main henchman in Iron Man 3 on the plane. Tony blows a hole through his chest and he dies, and he's heal from that. So Extremis can only heal you; it can't bring you back from the dead. So if you shot her and killed her, then
I have in my notes. I have in my notes this fucking bullshit because Gravik got shot in the face and instantly healed because he has Extremis.
It was his cheek though.
Yeah, he got shot in the cheek and then instantly.
That was a non-fatal injury too.
Yeah, she got shot in the heart, and it took a minute and a half.
So actually, Forrest mentioned this, I think a week or two ago, that a Skrull's heart is not in the same part of the body as a human's heart. So who's to say she got shot, fell down, and pretended to die, which is the most likely, and then waited till he was gone to heal.
Okay,
but wouldn't a Skrull know where to shoot though?
Gravik is a Skrull. Gravik knows where the hearts are.
But no. Remember, the car lights were on. And we all know Skrulls can't see well when car lights are on. That's why they crash motorcycles.
I think it's basically
too much writing to this fucking AI that wrote this.
I think it's basically an issue of the writers not watching Iron Man 3 and just being told, and so this is Extremis and just heals people.
I think this is a great part. This is before we get into the big action scene that might be of this entire series. I want to real fast pivot to a real spy thriller called Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. Dude, you know why Viagra has a warning to call your doctor after 4 hours of an erection, and you know why this movie's only 3 hours long? It's so you don't so you don't have to call that doctor, right? This is how a movie should be done, right? And there's a part 2 coming, dude.
And a part 3.
And a part 3. Oh my goodness, dude! Imagine prom night having a part 1 and a part 2 and a part 3. Oh my lord!
So is there going to be a doctor's warning? Do not watch all 3 movies in one day.
Yeah, exactly. There's going to be a major's warning. It's going to say
you'll die from a lack of blood to brain.
Yes, exactly. So what I'm asking is dude, the last great movie. What's the last great movie you saw? It was the last Mission Impossible movie, right? That's it. All right, there was Mission Impossible Fallout with Henry Cavill and his mustache, which is better than the Justice League Henry Cavill sans mustache Superman, right? And then there might have been another Mission Impossible after that, but if not, the last movie I saw that made me go holy shit, this was amazing, there was a Mission Impossible movie. And the next movie I saw that made me go holy shit, this was amazing, was another Mission Impossible movie. I want to say this is the Marvel movies of the 2020s, right? And he's like 60 plus years old, so he's only got another 20 years of doing this, right? But like,
I mean,
how fucking hard is it, Disney? To make a
they
movie
literally
this good? It's not that hard, Disney! They literally made the most money in the fucking world. They literally made
Harrison Ford play Indiana Jones when he was like 80, so they're probably gonna make another like 7 Mission Impossible movies.
Dude, Disney, go fuck yourself. In the land of Disney remakes, right? I just got through. So a little personal history. I've never seen the Indiana Jones trilogy plus the one movie that quote unquote doesn't exist, Temple's Crystal Skull. I just saw this in July, right? In the last 14 days. Amazing movies, right? But in the land of Disney remakes, Matt, I'm calling on you. Answer me this, right? Why doesn't Disney remake Indiana Jones with Chris Evans? That would be so good.
I would argue why not to go to young Indiana Jones, because it was a TV series and we've already established the, You want
to remake Young Indiana Jones with Tom Holland?
Or Tom Holland or Chris Evans could do it, because the issue is you just fast forward, because in the movie,
so you change it to a young-ish Indiana Jones.
Yeah. So what you do is you make a young Indiana Jones TV show, like you would a Marvel TV show, to get through all the backstory, and then you release the movie, and it's like Chris Evans. He's like, ciao.
Yes, Chris Evans would be the perfect Indiana Jones remake, right? Reboot, right? Yes, guys, do you agree?
I wouldn't even say remake or reboot, but just extension of the IP. Because, quite frankly, I think the issue is...
Wait, are you saying Shia LaBeouf goes into Chris Evans? Are you saying Shia LaBeouf goes into Chris Evans? Are we going to expand this?
We just don't talk about that movie.
We just don't talk about Shia LaBeouf. Don't do it! Just don't do it!
Well,
Close your ears really quick.
Okay.
Dial of Destiny has the best one-liner that totally makes up for how bad the previous movie is. And I will say this, spoilers, close your ears. Harrison Ford admits that his son dies when he joins the military, and Mudd is killed off screen in the past in a one-liner.
Oh, wow. Well, I think Shia LaBeouf got in trouble for sexual battery or something like that.
A lot of things. He's
3 feet away because I'm a goddamn monster.
Most child stars
I still heard that Harrison Ford dies.
Most child stars don't really.
And I hate you.
Grow up to be. Yeah. Anyway, so Secret Invasion, guy is still alive, and she was talking to her dad again, and it seemed like she's just gonna leave and join Gravik again. This is her only character to just go back and forth between Gravik and her dad. But I think
all right. So this is writing. This is shitty writing. Someone took the first half of a writing class and they said you need a character to be motivated to do something that they don't want to do, and then you flip the page and it says kill their father. So that's exactly what they did. They were like, so we'll just have Gaia leaves Gravik and she's got no one, so she goes to Talos and she says, Talos, I have no one but you, but let me hear your plan first. That's a shit plan. I'm gonna walk out and then be what a fucking scroll by themselves. You don't fucking like Talos, you don't like Gravik. What are you gonna fucking do? That's the dumbest writing.
I actually disagree with you. I actually disagree with you on this one point, Major, because this is one of the few times I think there was actually good writing.
I agree. It's good writing in a textbook sense, right? You kill the father to motivate the daughter to come back into the fight. But no. So leave the fight?
The issue, I feel, just looking at that one scene, at the end of the episode, that one scene where you find out she's been working with Talos the whole time, and she asks him, what is his plan? He's like, I'm going to beg the president to let us live here, but we have to wear our human skins. And she's like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
This is a bad idea. And what I love about it is it shows the disenfranchisement of her generation, how they've constantly been looking towards their elders and the generation before them to deliver them what they've wanted, and they've followed it, they keep going with it, and now they've become disenfranchised. They see the error of their elders' ways, and they walk away. One walks away in the sense of Gravik, who's going to fight the revolution, And then she's actually believed in her father this whole time, and she's gonna walk away, not knowing what to do, but knowing that she has to do something. But the generation before them has lost touch with reality, because both Gravik and Gaia.
Be a third party in America. She's lost touch with reality completely.
Both Gravik and Gaia agree on the same thing. They have been failed by Fury and by the people that came before them, and it's their generation's turn to help the Skrulls.
Oh my god!
But how they go about it is the debate.
So it's like Gravik.
This feels like an allegory when Matt explains it. I thought this was like a spy thriller, but when Matt explains it, it feels like an allegory for my life.
Yeah. So it's about this generation coming up and the ways in which they seek to help their people.
Oh my god!
And so I actually think it's really good writing.
A statement?
I mean, this is a pretty. I thought it was like a pretty bland scene. There were like some better scenes in this episode, but that's an interesting point. I think it was just like, Gaia just can't like take a side. She just keeps like going to Talos and like going to Gravik.
No. Scene for Gaia. There's definitely a lot of scene for Emilia Clarke.
The fact that they are watching ducks who migrate
migratory
all over. They have no home, so they're sitting there watching ducks who never have a home. And it's the fact that the Skrulls will never have a home. And it's coming to terms with the fact, hey, we're the same. We are just ducks on a bigger cosmic sense.
They should all morph into ducks and live amongst the ducks. So
could they morph into ducks?
Can I ask a fun thing about ducks? Yeah, can I tell you a little more about the ducks? Here in Florida, we had a recent story about a neighbor who called the cops on their neighbor next door who shot and killed some ducks. So the long and short of it is the first neighbor, right, who was lonely, just put fucking food out in their yard to attract ducks. So it attract these
bunch of ducks.
Attract a ton of ducks. The next door neighbor has an autistic son who's attracted to water, and these ducks are an invasive species. And the ducks left their property and were attacking his property, and started like we're coming on his property. So he killed them, and the neighbor was outraged, called the cops. The cops on the second neighbor who defended his son, right? And so long and short of it, the police found there was no wrongdoing, right? And you can protect yourself against invasive species in Florida, as in the fucking ducks. Whatever the ducks are called, Marcusio ducks, whatever the ducks are called.
And also, if you go to Subway and ask for bread for the ducks, they'll give it to you for free.
Muscovy ducks. Muscovy ducks are the invasive species, so you can go Muscovy yourself.
Well, let's go back to the flashback in 2012. I guess this was like right after the Avengers saved New York, and he was in Paris talking to his wife.
Less Avengers. Wait, why was it Less Avengers, not Los Avengers? Right? Like
because they're not in Mexico.
From my Spanish 101, 102, 103,
they were in Paris
to graduate high school, right? Like if there's one man in a group of female, you call that a los instead of a los.
But they were in Paris. It's French.
Yeah.
So my Latin doesn't extend to that.
It literally said Paris on the screen.
Yeah, they were in Paris. They even showed the Eiffel Tower before they cut to them.
Fury and his wife were in Paris in 2012. They were reading the Avengers newspaper.
Ooh la la.
Right after the events of the Avengers movie happened. So they read the Raymond Carver poem, and it was just sort of like
I did.
So I love how they make this little nod to the Avengers, and she makes a joke about handling it over there. So obviously, the overseas, and the whole end scene happens somewhere in Great Britain. Where are the Avengers? Where are the Avengers throughout this whole thing? Do they only operate in the United States and Sokovia?
Well, Captain America's old. Iron Man's dead. Thor's probably off-world. Captain Marvel's probably off-world.
The in canon, So the in-canon answer that Nick Fury gives you is that we can't have this. We can't involve the Avengers because we can't risk the Skrull mimicking them and becoming terrorists, right? So you don't want someone who looks like Tony Stark to blow up a building because then Iron Man gets blamed.
What Avengers are left?
However, not a lot of the Avengers are left, and at that point, Skrulls could not replicate superhuman abilities, right? So like, it's really not that hard. It's really just bad writing, and it really fucking stands out after you watch Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
But
starting off.
Once they get a hold of like Spider-Man, depending on whether Sony will let Marvel use him, they could get his DNA and then get spider powers that way, like they did with Groot.
But here's the thing, yeah, like exactly. So this goes into the whole, with her finding the powers.
Let's talk about it.
So, like, is it just that they find like Groot's limb when he attacked somebody, and like how do they have this DNA? But we argue that they don't have their DNA. Like they can't.
They didn't really get into it.
Well, he was on Earth for Infinity War for a little bit, so maybe he got like shot by one of the aliens or like.
There's a leaf that probably fell somewhere when he shed.
No, so my argument is.
I agree. That how do they get that fucking DNA?
If all they need is DNA, there's easy ways to get.
Well,
there's easy ways.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking the Skrulls are from space, so they probably just could have gotten another.
Wait, did frost giants come from Earth, or is that just in What If?
They're the Bifrost.
The Bifrost, but did they come to Earth in the Bifrost, or they just?
Yeah, they did. Remember in the first Thor movie, there was like a war in Norway between the frost giants and the Asgardians.
Dude, that was
it was like
years ago, dude.
It was like very, very like all CGI, and it was like very lazy. But it was trying to be like, it was probably like Lord of the Rings, which is like very cheap, and like you just tell Anthony Hopkins was de-aged.
Yeah, so to kind of make a side point that puts what Major just said with how stacked the MCU universe is at this point. When I went to see the latest Guardians of the Galaxy movie, I saw these creatures and I'm like, I remember them from some movie, and it was bugging me. So I had to like figure out a way to Google search what these creatures were, and I could not figure it out. And then come to find out they were in the open scene of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Like literally the movie that came out before it.
That's right, yeah. And like the slug, not the slug things, but
the giant mouth teeth things. Yeah. And I was like, how do I Google search what the fuck these creatures are?
Yeah, I don't know,
and I'm like, where have I seen this in the MCU? Because at this point, I think the big issue, especially with these TV shows, is the just fatigue. For some odd reason, when it comes to the comic books, it's easier than with these TV shows and with these movies. Wow. I don't know why.
Okay, so I thought a lot about fatigue, and I have. If you guys are familiar with the podcast, again, that's SeaSkrull podcast. We got over 100 episodes. Go back and fucking listen to it. Right? If you love pop culture, if you love Marvel movies or shit, just anything that shoots lasers out of their eyes in the last 2.5 years, we fucking
The Boys.
It's on the podcast. The Boys, right?
I can't wait for
even that
Invincible.
terrible movie. Same. What was that awful show? The Y or the
Y the Last Man.
We gave up on.
We covered it all, right, guys?
No, we didn't finish the Y the Last Man. We stopped like episode 4.
I finished it.
It was so terrible.
So
I'm sorry.
Go to the last episode of the Y the Last Man, and then listen to the episode past that, and then you'll hear me talk about the finale because I remember no one else was doing it, right? But we've been talking about this forever, right? It's like we're on the zeitgeist of the nerd culture.
I'll watch the Undiscovered Country show when it comes out.
This goes back kind of, I guess, to loop it back around though. The fatigue comes back to my question: is the average viewer is going to be like, where are the Avengers, or is the only superheroes in North America? Where are all the European superheroes? No, where's Captain Britain? Where is
watching this? I don't think the average viewers watching.
Oh, I forgot there was no creepy Mary Poppins government lady this episode. Well, it's funny because her last name is Fallsworth, and that's the character of.
She's the Falls guy.
No, Fallsworth. John Fallsworth is the guy who plays Union Jack, who is sort of like the proto Captain Britain.
I like Dr.
in
Farnsworth. That's my
But if you remember, her grandfather was in Captain America: The First Avenger. He was like the British guy in Cap's entourage. Another fatigue. Like, who can remember that far back? But yeah, she's related to that dude. But I don't even know. Like, hopefully there'll be she'll have like a picture of the guy from First Avenger, so everyone will be just like, oh,
no, not a picture. But I want a goddamn flashback, dude. Stop saying, start showing. Right?
I don't think that guy's been.
Thank you.
Got the idea that it's better to say and not show. That's not how screenwriting works. You need to show, not say. Okay. And let's talk about some old shit I've been watching recently. My wife and I just started going back. We're just tangenting for 10 seconds, not even 10 seconds, right? Started going back and rewatching The Big Bang Theory. The first couple of seasons are fucking classic, right? I know we get a lot of cringe, and there's that viral video of like season 8, season 10, or season 12, whatever, where like you take the laugh track out and this is not funny, right? But like the first couple of seasons are fucking hilarious, and that's how you get to 12 seasons, right? Like, so, I think
hopefully Secret Invasion
bitch a lot about the end, but we forget about how good it was in the beginning. Like, we're bitching about season or phase 4 of the MCU, but phase 1 and 2 is so good. So Forrest, to boot that, right? At the very beginning of phase 4, right after Endgame, I told you Endgame was so fucking epic. The only way Marvel could come back from this was to tank season 4. Like epic, like Endgame was so fucking amazing. It was the pinnacle of fucking cinema, right? The only way to do better than that was to lower expectations, and the only way to do that was to make phase 4 suck. And holy shit,
I didn't think of that.
But they fucking did it. They fucking nailed sucking phase 4, dude. Phase 4 sucked the life out of comic books.
Well,
sorry, keep going, Forrest.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're just talking about like why haven't they called the Avengers, and it's like they just like bring Hawkeye. It doesn't matter if Hawkeye becomes a Skrull because he's useless anyway.
Yeah.
Where's Rhodey's Rhodey's a Skrull? He's got no fucking.
Let's go Hawkeye.
He doesn't. Rhodey, we're never gonna see War Machine.
Oh no, we lost our bow and arrow guy.
Yeah.
Just to go back to one of Major's points, one of the things I 100% agree. You know, you say don't show. You know, I'm sorry, you show don't say. Yeah. You know,
it's been so.
What kills me about this show is the inconsistency in the writing, because one of my favorite scenes, and one of the few times I think the writing did really well, which people will criticize actually the writing for, was the scene in the church in which Fury's wife and Rhodey are talking. But they're talking and they show how immature and how un-Rhodey-like he is. To really show that he's just a Skrull who is actually, I think the name is Rava, a female Skrull. They show, because he starts talking about wrestling, and we've never heard Rhodey talk about wrestling, but also how much Rhodey talks. The manner in which he talks is very anti-Rhodey, and so I loved that writing, and I loved the acting there, because they just go to show how in this one moment the Skrull can be a Skrull, and doesn't have to be very, Rhodey-like, who's very militaristic.
No Skrull likes the Undertaker, right? The Skrull will be a human. The human in the Skrull. Dude, everyone likes the DDT. The Undertaker picks him up by the fucking throat and just slams him down, or wherever the DDT is, right? Like, I love it. Like, it's so primal. It's reptilian. It's reptilian. That's what it is.
That's why I love it.
This scene, you've never seen Rhodey.
Yes.
In any of the movies or TV shows act in this manner.
Well,
and here is Rhodey.
That's bad writing. That's bad.
No.
Right?
No. It's great writing. It's great writing because it's showing you that this is a Skrull, that it's not him. And that's what I liked about it, because if they had he sat there and he was very Ein zwei, I am Rhodey, salute you, you will do this because it is your duty, then I would still be questioning, so wait, is this Rhodey or is it a Skrull? Or is Rhodey in league with the Skrulls? But what they do here is he is fucking around and being very anti-Rhodey, and you're like, yep, you definitely, even though you saw him change before,
right?
Because they wipe the mirror and he changes into Rhodey.
With the pop whiskey or whatever.
No. The scene in the church. The scene in the church.
Oh, the scene in the church.
Where he,
before.
yeah.
Okay.
It's very anti-Rhodey, and once again, but here's the thing too. I hate the scene where he's drinking with Fury because I just feel it is very inauthentic. And once again, like literally you have back-to-back scenes with Rhodey, and one feels real and one just feels very fake.
Why doesn't Rhodey kill Nick, or why doesn't Nick kill Rhodey? I hate that scene. I agree with that, right?
Well, he doesn't want
and
to.
He's like,
he wanted to put that tracker.
I thought it would be poison.
Well, they need to find where the.
I love how he actually told him that there was like nano trackers in there.
I'm with Matt on this.
Reverse technology.
There is spots of amazing writing in this, and there is spots of true
cringe,
boring CW writing. And I can only pray to the gods of Marvel and Gravik that the Marvel executives will siphon through the bad writers and get to the good writers at the end of this writer's strike.
So what I do love, and once again, really quick, great writing, is when he first meets the president, he's not in uniform and he salutes him, which kind of signals that he doesn't really know military decorum.
Right.
Because you're not in uniform, you wouldn't salute. A, but B, how the president's like, hey, did you have a bottle of bourbon before coming here?
Half a bottle, dude.
Yeah.
Half a bottle.
God, that expensive.
And you would think he would know that because he has all of Rhodey's memories.
Yeah. So you would think, but this once again is a great writing, how they call back to an earlier scene, but also they go to show you, for all the military people, like you wouldn't salute in that situation. So obviously the Skrull knows Rhodey, but doesn't know everything. He doesn't know like the subtle nuances of what it's like to be in the military.
I almost had like almost 1,000 million synapses fired off my brain, thinking you had like the greatest idea ever, and like the writing was spot on and perfect. And then I realized it was so close and yet so far away.
No, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like
it's hit and miss. The whole season has been these brief moments where like, yes, they finally get it, and then not even a minute later.
Exactly.
Not even a minute later.
And I don't want to like be a dead horse, right? But like I just came out of Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, and I fucking know like these goddamn writers exist, dude. These writers, there are writers in Hollywood that know how to write an espionage piece and know how to write a spy thriller. Why is Marvel hiring this woke GPT bullshit to fucking like make a cuck out of Nick Fury? And like, there's an idea. You make a cuck out of Nick Fury in episode 1.
Who did his Skrull wife bang?
And then
no.
I fuck Nick Fury's wife because he's such a cuck, right? But like by the end of episode 6, he's a goddamn hero, right? So like there's a huge character arc, but like we're on episode 4 and we haven't seen that yet. We just saw a little bit of him being a spy where he's sadly listening in the back of his in the backyard patio where his wife is talking about like killing him, right? And like the ultimate cuck. Dude, I thought cuck was like sitting in the corner watching your wife fuck someone. No, a cuck is someone sitting in the corner listening to your wife talk to another man about killing you. That is the definition of cuck. Now
to go back once again to great scene set up and great writing. The scene in which he sits down with his wife.
I love that.
Right.
Yeah.
I love how she's initially framed when she comes in by the 5 faces on the wall. Because she's a Skrull.
Yes.
That's which face she is. Right. And then they stay there, but they're always in frame. They're always in frame. But when they don't shoot each other, what does he do? He shoots one of the faces. So he destroys one of her personalities. Like, once again, great scene setup, great writing, and then we go to, hey, I'm Gravik, and I get that the Prime Minister of Great Britain, but we got Russian helicopters all of a sudden in Great Britain and Russian arms, and we all speak Russian, and nobody totally knew we were coming.
Matt,
it's like great writing,
Matt,
and then the very next scene, you have to suspend your disbelief.
Yes, but Matt, take your dadness out of this for a second, right? Take your dadness out of this. If Nick Fury and Priscilla, right, they both shot each other to the left, right? Like, who shot first? Han? Who gives a fuck? It wasn't Nick Fury, right? And it wasn't his wife. They both missed, right? Like, in the comic books, they would fuck on that table.
Oh, totally.
Like, game over, right? This is because Marvel was bought by Disney. We're not gonna get that fucking scene, all right?
Must be the Max
imprint.
imprint.
Your wife's head. Your wife should pass your head, and you're like, oh, should we get a divorce or should we renew our vows? No, motherfucker, you should bone her on that table. Okay.
Oh man, I heard about the differences with Thanos' story. They were actually talking about it on one of the recent episodes of JRE.
Yeah. Oh my God. Dude,
they were getting into like how they were in the comic book.
Oh, because snapping away half of resources.
And they were talking about like
it's dumbass idea. First off, snap and double the resources so everyone can live. All right, you fucking Democrat woke ass motherfucking Thanos.
Yeah, it's sort of like an Armageddon.
But secondly,
it was because he
goes in the butthole. It blows up. Matt's happy. I'm happy. I suck his dick. We're all happy. We go home. The podcast ends at 102 episodes.
Well, Thanos has something going on with death, wasn't it?
Or that one.
He was in love with death, and he wanted to.
He's in love with death, and death hates him, right? So, like, dude, what does every man
makes him unkillable,
do?
basically?
Well, basically,
you pursue a woman.
Basically,
you pursue a woman, so you kill everyone. That's what I did.
Well, basically, he's like trying to improve himself by getting Infinity Stones to win death. But once he gets all Infinity Stones,
Joe Rogan.
He becomes too good. He becomes too good for her. So it's just sort of like the ultimate tragedy. But I'm thinking that let's go ahead and get to the final battle scene with Gravik attacking the president.
How good was this whole scene?
Yeah,
right. So first
I'm
off,
pretty sure they actually blew up some cars or flipped some cars.
I want to go over some complaints.
Actual practical
Who cares
effects in a
about
Marvel
this president?
production?
Who cares? No, who cares about this president? President Risen.
Yeah,
no connection. We know Harrison Ford's gonna be the president in the next fucking.
So that's the whole point, and I think I brought it up last podcast or podcast before. The whole point of Rhodey being where he is to get it to show how weak this president is, and then that doesn't work out. But this is where Thunderbolt comes in, because hey, at the end of this series, everybody's gonna know about Skrulls. Everybody's gonna know about Skrulls, so they need a strong president who's willing to do the hard work, and they need a general who's willing to do the hard work. And this is how Thunderbolt
RFK
gets elected
president.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, so this is the issue. The whole point of this series is to show 2 points. One, Rhodey was trying to manipulate the president, and then eventually get a Skrull in as president. That's not going to work. But the Skrull plot is going to be revealed, and now America's going to want a hard, tough-on Skrull's president, and that's how you get Thunderbolt.
That's how you get Harrison Ford, aka I like it. 2 parts, one question. I say 2 parts to sound better. I hope it comes to me. But first part, why would a Skrull impersonate Rhodey and not just the president?
Oh, I've actually heard this question posed.
I just thought of it. This wasn't a gotcha.
Harder to capture.
This is just something you said, and it made me think of it. Like, that's a great point. Like Rhodey, Rhodey says in First Cathedral, right? Like, this president's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know the sun rises unless I tell him, right? That's a direct quote. So why would you just not Skrull the president?
And they haven't explained where the actual Rhodey is yet.
So I would argue that Rhodey's dead because he died at the end of one of the Iron Mans.
But they have to capture his memories.
Yeah, so that's the issue. That's the issue is that you can't, because of how Secret Service is.
Secret Wars, Armory Wars is coming. No, Armory Wars is Coing Cambria.
Armor
Wars is coming. Secret Wars is coming, starring Rhodey. So Rhodey can't be dead at the end of this. So
he's in a cube somewhere.
He's in the Skrull base in Siberia. Yeah. That's why.
Yeah. So he's either. But that's what I was saying. Like before you go on any further, I wanted to let you know, like you're either gonna like propose that we're gonna watch a whole season with the Skrull as the lead character, or this Skrull's about gonna die and our real Rhodey's gonna be rescued.
So real Rhodey will definitely be rescued, but we've already seen.
What if Iron Man comes back? What if Robert Downey Jr. comes back to save Skrull? Like, dude, I would have a hard on for at least 6 hours. I have to call every hospital in the country. If I'm watching episode 6 and then like Rhodey, Nick's trying to fucking get like Rhodey like freed from the purple mind beams, and then like Iron Man shows up and Iron Man saves the fucking day. Like, dude, get out of here, dude. I am full-fledged pledging myself back into the MCU. Phase 6, let's go.
So to answer your question, Rob, this is once again a great example of bad writing, because we've established in the series that they truly need these pods to suck out the memories, to be able to, like, it's one thing to don their skin, but to be in a position of power, you need to have their memories. But the issue is that the argument would be the Secret Service is going to be around a presidential candidate or a high-level senator 24/7, so you're just not going to be able to find a time to, like, take them. But at the same time, too, we've seen that the head of NATO, the British Prime Minister, like we've already like made this kind of like, oh, you can't get this close, but that's because of America. If it's something in Europe or Asia, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
like you could just be
weird double standard.
You could just be a Secret Service agent, and then Bill Clinton goes outside to smoke a cigarette, and then you just become Bill Clinton. It's not
exactly,
that fucking hard.
Exactly, and then capture the real book. So it's once again the issue with this show, the lazy writing.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman because that was a Skrull she fucked.
Mm-hmm. So actually, that's a funny story, because I think Ryan Airy this week pointed out on Screen Crush about he was trying to tie in She-Hulk about how she would represent in the comic books people who would defend themselves, arguing that it was either a Skrull or a shape changer, and in this universe, that was like a legitimate form of love Screen Crush, love Ryan Airy. You have to give him a nod once again.
Yeah, they did that in She-Hulk, right? They had someone a nymph or
Megan Thee Stallion, or I don't know what her name is.
Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh yeah, it was like a dark elf.
Megan Thee Stallion.
But let's just all pray for a second that we don't get season 2 of She-Hulk. We'll see that episode.
Please no.
Well, I think who's the Bob Iger's the head guy at Disney. I think he says they're going to be shifting away from TV shows.
As a quick note, I would like to point out I am in support of the writer strike and the actor strike right now. Iger gets paid $74,000 a day to be the head of Disney, and the average writer gets paid $64,000 a year. For him to come out and say the expectations of these writers is ridiculous is bullshit. We make fun of the quality of writing of these shows, but the fact that these are actual jobs that people are trying to entertain us, and for a gentleman who gets $74,000 a day to say that they are out of touch is bullshit.
So I agree 100%, and I want to not just the writer's strike, the actors
strike today, as of today.
Right,
they just started.
Before we talk about that, like with the writer's strike, like that affected
Field Actors Guild,
like the Starbucks, the janitorial services for these buildings, right? Like lots of other industries were compounded and affected by these strikes, besides the writers and now the actors. But to double on Matt's fun fact, that's there, right? Like Zaslav, like the head, the CEO of Warner Brothers, right? If I'm not mistaken, makes enough in a year. The salary of Zaslav in a year could cover all the demands, or 98% of the demands that the writer's strike holds, right? So like you could just like one single CEO could just fucking forgo his salary and keep all of Hollywood going right now. But that's not what we're fucking doing.
Matt.
And
I'm sorry. Lost you there for a second.
Oh,
Matt, are you worried? Matt, are you worried there's gonna be fewer writers' jobs if they increase salaries for writers?
No. I don't, and normally I would argue against this. What I do worry about is them. We argue about AI consistently. That I think is a bigger worry. Normally, I am a very Austrian economist. You raise wages, therefore you have to limit,
Austrian?
What
is
Austrian,
that?
sorry.
Austrian. The
Hayek.
only Austrian economy
Hayek,
I'm familiar with is
Hayek.
Killing Franz Ferdinand, so you have to expound upon it.
So Mises and Hayek, they would argue if you raise wages. So the idea is, look at what's happening with Walmart right now. I will switch to self-checkout, so that way I don't have to pay. If I don't have to pay 10 cashiers, I only have to pay one cashier to watch 10 units, and then one IT guy at the end of the day. Yeah, I'm paying that IT guy 3 salaries worth of cashiers, but I'm not paying 10 cashiers anymore.
Right.
So people would argue you raise wages for the writers, therefore that means less writer jobs. Normally I would argue that yes, but the main issue is streaming.
Yeah.
And the explosiveness of streaming. So the fact that you have Paramount, you have Netflix, you have 20 different apps now.
Oh my gosh, dude. You cannot watch all the TV you wanted 2 years ago today.
The issue is not
There is a lot.
getting paid for writing currently. One of the main issues is look at Arrested Development. Great show. Arrested Development, the writers did a season for Netflix.
Original, or are you talking about remake?
The remake. So when Netflix bought Arrested Development, they did a season, and it flopped hardcore.
Yeah.
But you know what Netflix did is they went in, they cut it up, they re-released it in order instead of the order that they initially did it, and only 20-minute episodes. So therefore, it was 10 extra episodes. It was easier to follow. The writers would argue that, hey, this is still our work. You've just re-edited it. Therefore, we should still get paid because we still wrote this. So when it comes to streaming, it's super weird because the other issue too is look at Seinfeld. What platforms has Seinfeld been on recently? It was on Netflix, got dropped,
Netflix.
And then went to
What? Still Netflix.
It went to Peacock. It's bounced around. It's bounced around to a few different streaming platforms. So who gets the royalties off of the writing of that? But when it bounces from Paramount to Netflix to whatever, that's the real issue right now. Is so much the streaming wars, and now the introduction of AI. All
right, so
what happens? So what happens if we put something into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT, which is horrible, but anyways, takes and makes a screenplay. But come to find out, it was going through all these databases and took from this show and this show and this show and this show. So ChatGPT in and of itself is not original. It's taking from ideas that writers have written. And who therefore gets the credit?
Sued for that by Silverman and such.
So
I agree with that. It's
issues
place.
that I can't get into because I hate to tell you guys, I am not a lawyer. I am not a doctor. I am not a scientist. These are very interesting. It is very interesting things that I've never thought about. Mm-hmm. And this is definitely not within my field of expertise, but I can totally see where the writers are coming. And I can totally see how,
can you see where I'm
once again,
from,
a guy who makes $74,000 a day is not willing to pay people who make $64,000 a year a little bit extra, give them a little bit extra vacation, give them a little bit extra benefits. It's a joke.
But did you see?
Disney is one of the biggest corporations in the world. I did.
Did you see She-Hulk?
I would say that
Is that worth that $7,000 salary for those writers?
Only the She-Hulk writers deserve less. All the other writers.
No, not only She-Hulk writers. She-Hulk is one of the best examples.
What if I were to tell you? I have a point.
Listen to this podcast. I have gone through 100+ episodes of this podcast. You listen to them, go through them. Half of them have been through terrible content.
Yep, no, I agree.
Most of it Marvel.
If I had a terrible business, I would not be in business 2 years later, okay? But they are. So fuck them. I hope AI takes over. I hope I get a bunch of AI genetic chat, right? I hope it's Superman jerking off into a mirror and then saving Lois Lane jumping off of a building and then save Martha. I don't give a fuck what AI comes out with, right? It's better than the shit that
I would offer this antidote. In college, I was poor, so I went to go work. I went to a no-name school in the middle of nowhere, and so I went to work for Target, and Target paid me the legal amount that they could pay me, the least amount that they could legally pay me. And you know how much effort I put into doing my daily job?
How much?
Almost none.
The legal effort?
If literally, like, I would like try to leave early. I hated it. It was one of the worst jobs I've ever had in my life. And then just dealing with people when you're getting paid piss poor money is miserable. But I would argue, hey, you know what? Yeah. You know what? Maybe if they paid me double and I didn't have to deal with certain things, I would give more effort.
Yeah.
But you know what? Knowing at the end of the day, I had to be there at 6 o'clock in the morning to set things up. And you know what? My job required having certain equipment, and there was always a fight over the equipment because they didn't have enough equipment. And then if you didn't have equipment, then you weren't doing your job, and then your manager was mad at you for not doing your job, you know? And I was like, well, you only have 10 scanners and there's 14 of us here. Mm-hmm. So you get where I'm going with this? So maybe we pay and treat our employees with better respect.
All right, so that's an individual issue, right?
Maybe this is the issue with Marvel and Disney versus.
I would like to think so.
Look at Apple TV.
Show.
Look at Apple TV right now with we've rated Loki was great. The Fountain.
One show was okay.
We've reviewed some really good shows, and I would argue, hey, maybe you play and respect your employees and give them a great working environment.
Yes.
Maybe they will give you the best comic book adaptation ever. Look at Deadpool. There you go. Look at Deadpool.
Yes. No, I know where you're going with that. Yes, I thought you were going for the line level. No, I agree. 110%. Give talented people the ability to be talented, right? Like, dude, Ryan Reynolds, right, got rejected from Hollywood for Deadpool, right? The largest R-rated movie of all time, except for maybe Passion of the Christ.
He literally played the worst Deadpool character and the best Deadpool character because he cared about it so much.
And then he went back and killed them.
Killed them. Yeah.
Hollywood said no, and he leaked it. He said, "Fuck you guys, I'm gonna leak it." And then Hollywood said, "Money, yes, please."
But so pay your employees, give them a great working environment. But also, here's the other thing too: this subtle nuance.
Don't attack your customers.
Find the nerds that care.
Oh, yes.
Don't pay the writers because they're professional writers. Find the actual guides. Look at The Boys. The Boys, for instance, is another great example. I cannot wait for that next season to come out, even though I'm constantly criticizing things that don't follow the comic books, except for The Boys. Because it is still well written. It is still done in a great manner because you obviously have people who are invested in care. Don't just pay writers because they write the best movies. Because somebody who writes Oppenheimer is gonna fucking suck writing Secret Invasion.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, is the Secret Invasion guy the guy wrote Oppenheimer for real, or is that
No. I'm just saying, for instance,
okay.
yeah.
No,
well, let's wrap up Secret
Invasion. We're told not to read Secret Invasion.
Well, let's wrap up this episode though, because we're all happy to see Talos as a Skrull again.
Yeah, Talos saves the president, but the president is passed out, so he cannot beg for the president.
The president didn't see him save him.
Yeah, because remember the whole point? The whole point was he was going to beg the president.
Yeah,
and he's there face to face and saves him.
Yeah, we'll be good. We'll be good immigrants, and then they'll give us amnesty. That's not a great strategy. I can see why Gaia, aka Emilia Clarke, walked out.
But once again. Great writing. He dies, and the president will never know. He will never see a Skrull face in front of him. When all Talos wanted to do was ask him, "Let us live here."
And he died right there.
Yeah, but that's different. Nick tell him, say, "Hey, just so you know, the Skrull that died saved you."
But
that's different.
But Fury
that's
had
different.
To leave, and Fury had to leave the body.
Yeah. But that's different. That's different. If you're there and you see somebody die in front of you, saving your life. Versus you're passed out and somebody's recounting, hey, just so you know, the Skrull guy saved you.
No, Matt, you're right. I've seen this before in Avengers 1. Matt Coulson died, and Nick Fury gathered all the Avengers around a fake death.
Yeah, threw the cards on the table, and
bloody cards.
Yep.
He bloodied the cards up. So, is that what we're going to see here? I think Talos is dead. I don't think that's a fake out.
I don't think they would have to
I don't think
Will we see...
So, no. There is one more fake out to come.
Mariah Hill?
Yes, Hill is still alive. She'll be saved.
Mariah Hill's still alive. Dude, as much as I hate Colby Smulders, she will never die in any of my favorite television shows. From How I Met Your Mother to The Marvel, she will be a capstone in every goddamn piece of literature I like.
Well, I think I guess we're going to see. We have 2 episodes left of this show, unfortunately.
We also have 2 parts of Dead Reckoning, parts 2 and parts 3, Mission Impossible.
And I don't know. Would y'all say this is the best episode? Probably because it's the shortest. I'd say.
You took one.
It was the shortest. It was 30 minutes. Do you want to talk about how good the CGI was for the blow up of the convoy? Convoy? That was so good. The convoy scene was excellent. That was the best Marvel Disney Plus action scene I think I've seen.
Not only that, I really felt that they put all their CGI budget into this episode because the whole Talos turning into half Skrull.
How good did he look
throughout this whole So throughout the whole series, we've mocked.
I was like, he looks so good changing back and forth from human to Skrull. I was like, God, that CGI looks so good. I stopped.
It's practical effects too.
So remember episode 1 how we were joking about how the guy took off his hat and it the screen cut off and it's all of a sudden he's a Skrull and then he puts on his hat and he's a human again. We were making fun of the lack of CGI. So it really looks like they put all their CGI in this one episode, which makes me worry. Makes me worry about the next 2 episodes.
What's the end going to be?
Is this the pinnacle?
Yeah, well, I'm interested because I think we're pretty much. I've seen all the scenes that were in the trailer, so I have no idea what's going to happen next.
Well,
there's one more.
The president's going to die, right? You can't have President Harrison Ford, in the next Red Avengers movies or Red Hulk movie, right? Unless the current President Rizdan or whatever is dead. So he's got to die in the next 2 episodes.
No, he's not going to die. But it's going to be revealed that Rhodey is a Skrull. The Skrulls are going to become big by episode 6. And for the president to have a Skrull so close to him is going to make him seem, it's going to delegitimize him. It's going to make him seem, wait, the Skrulls infiltrated your thing. So we need a strong person. We know Skrulls won't be next to.
I hope you're wrong, dude. The Trump impeachments were so boring. I could not watch a Marvel impeachment hearing.
No, it's not even going to be impeachment. It's going to be an election. It's going to be
get reelected.
He's not going to get reelected. Yeah.
Bring it back. well, you know how I'm gonna bring back in this argument? Tip, just a tip, motherfuckers. What's up?
Did you watch the episode, Tip?
Oh no.
I guess not.
No, I guess not. All right.
Well,
Well, thanks for giving that in the background. We appreciate it. Do you guys have any last thoughts? Amelia Clark, alive. Palace dead. Nick Fury alive. Priscilla alive. Who's dying next episode?
Rhodey, scroll Rhodey.
Scrody. You think Scrody's dying next episode? What about
Rhodey, yeah. Scrody's
Wait,
dying.
can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
hear you,
there we
Tip.
go.
You got a party, Tip? You hear people in the background.
No, that's just the crickets.
Yeah, it's the crickets, man. Come on, he's outside. The tree
you're,
frogs.
So you're at a comedy club. And
He,
you
he,
just
was,
bombed on
he was
stage.
asking how many people liked the last Secret Invasion movie episode. Crickets all around.
Yeah, or the show in general, crickets. But yeah, so this
That
was
is exactly
Whatever.
this episode.
This show is a top 10% syndicated pop culture podcast on Spotify. To which we thank you, the listeners. Thank you so much for that. We appreciate it so much. Don't forget to leave a 5-star review. Don't forget to tweet us at Zealot Podcast. What were we saying, Forrest?
I'm Forrest.
I'm Major.
I'm Rhodey.
Matt.
And Tip.
And if
Hits
you want to
from
hear
the
more
bottom.
about RFK, we love the.
Okay, we're good. Bye.
Yeah, I love it. Because I was
See.
competent.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Before it stops.
Love you guys.